All right. So, hi, welcome to the session Mobile Testing 7. So we still have day to day and 3 more hours to learn something. So today I would like to, so this one I found very good pictures. So as you remember, last time we talked about test plan. So, I think it's a very simple and very good representation of relationship for test plan. So, why should you really spend some time to learn and do not afraid of test plans. So this and what you do. So because actually in your case it will be strictly related, so you will pass in through test plan itself. So it will, you remember this, I told you and show you some architecture tree, so templates, and I think I download this file to our collective email. So, but mainly this what they asking for during interview regarding test plan. It's a test design. So do you know how to create test data, test scripts, test cases? So, and that's why today we will try to break through. So the things with test cases, I know at some point it will become compromising with what you learned so far. So it's no contradiction. It's no competition who is better or who is right. So this you need to understand. So then it's just another opinion. It's another area of expertise. So in another knowledge. So then different teachers share with you. So let's start with a little bit of web design basics. So because otherwise it will be we'll pull back and have too many questions. So I would like to bring you some example of practice of creating mobile test cases and practice with troubleshooting. And we have as a homework, I prepare for you some about 10 slides. So each slide will represent one defect. So you need to see it, you need to find this defect and describe. So in what way, in what template, we will talk about this a little bit later. Okay, so very simple question. How would you test UI of mobile application? And actually not just UI, but in general, how you will test mobile application. We start to talk about this last time. So, but the theme itself is very big. But what I try to bring to you, so in general, you know, this, I submit web design basic file. I think it was session number 1, and I tell you guys, all right, now you have 3 months to go through and get familiar with all this definition and, you know, this visualize for yourself what a basic design element you should know. So why? Because professional language is super important, and when you create test cases, when you describe things, when you investigate things, when you create and log bug report, so this you will not escape all these specific terms in professional words. Otherwise, so it will be on the entry level, and it will be it will be a lot of gaps or places for misunderstanding. And again, in the moment of truth and practical world, so when it's come to question, so developer work with who? With you or with person who have more knowledge in professional language, then they will choose other person, not you. So take this seriously and try to concentrate on this. So what is my goal is today? You know, generic, it doesn't matter what design people create around their web pages, how its layout look like. We still have like major elements which can be turned at some point as a modules. So when we start create test cases. So, all right, module could be full page. Or if you do not have too many pages, then you can divide each page in some components, modules. So this one of the main things then you will see almost in all websites today. It will be somehow name, title, or top navigational bar or top navigational panel. So it depends on application. So we're not really married to the names, but at the same time we just as a portion-wise for module for each page. We look for the top, for the bottom, and for the middle content. Middle content could be also busy. It's not just some text or images. So we may have some category bars, navigational panels, or we can have middle navigation section, or some search section like search destination section. So most of the websites these days have also social network section. But if we look at the conceptual things, then the element is repeating itself over and over again. So when we talk about how you will test application for UI issue or whatever, so how you start testing mobile application, then your easy answer in your dictionary should be just to check alignments, overlap, truncation, splash screen. Splash screen, you remember, then it's the first initiation when you open application. So it's some special, could be animation, sound, no sound, but it's a literally splash screen for 3 seconds that represent application names or trademarks. So we'll also check content for invalid or garbage symbols. We look for screen orientation. You remember landscape and portrait is a keyword. So if there is some dysfunction, then it's straight related to accelerometer function. So an accelerometer, it's a preset native application in each device. So why we call this native application? Because it's literally some very tiny chip on a motherboard on each device that control rotation of device. So specifically when we talk about web mobile application, there's a lot of times some special issue, not right or not perfect compatibility with accelerometer. So now if you see something in portrait mode, and it is most of the time it's overlap or misalignment. So before you start to create the bug, turn this to landscape and see if it's issue solved or not. If issue solved, then it's 100% accelerometer issue. So we're also looking and check navigational panel versus navigational bar. So people don't catch difference between, but it's very simple. If we talk about panel, it's something solid, not moved, not interactive. You may have some interactive icons or button inside this panel, but panel itself is actually very stable. So when we talk about navigational bar, then it's involved on the background some action, so it's a toppable things, or you can switch these things. You can do this bar some action. So it's the only difference between them. Global footer, why we call this global footer? Because you remember, if we come back to previous page, so here's the footer section. More likely, think about website that may have some 20 different pages. So this one is a home page. You see top navigational panel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So category menus and this top navigational panel that refer at least to other 7 pages, or maybe it's something more links. You see then they have this in 2 languages. They also have some sign in, login. So then all this page, just by looking home page, you'll understand. And here's we can see at least 5 or 6 active links and social button. So, and maybe this category, because it's a special arrows here that's indicated, then it's a toppable again. It's referring to some special category of main content. So altogether, this, by just first look on this page, I know then this page may contain about 20 plus pages. So, but my assumption is, and it should be right assumption, then this one footer, so it doesn't matter where I go within application. Doesn't matter which category I choose or login or whatever. Everywhere I should have the same footer. So it's why this is called global footer. Body content, body box, and body so containers. So it's 3 different things. Then you should know and should differentiate, because again, we come back to the previous picture. So all this together, sorry, not the footer, but all this together between top navigational panel and global footer will be considered body content. But what we have inside body content, we have hero image, we have some advertisement panel. It could be active or not, I don't know, so because it's hard to say. I can see here some active link inside this panel. So we have some body boxes, and each of these boxes, like Cape Consult, so we have a heading and text, plus some visual representation, some image. So this one will be box, but inside this box, so I divide text and image and heading in containers. So sometimes they do this opposite, so that it could be all in once, so name as a container, but inside this container I will have a boxes. It depends on the company, you know, this standard is like very not really, you know, this in hard frame, so this it's flexible. So it depends on the company how they name things. But you must understand then, you know, it's like a principle of this Russian or Japanese doll matryoshka. So then it's you have something bigger and you put some smaller pieces inside. So and it's resized every time, smaller and smaller, or other way, bigger and bigger. So alright, so next, it was easy answer. If we want something more interesting, you know, for and more professional, so then we start with installation of application. So we talk for splash screen, install, accept, and download, open and install buttons. So sync view loading and view transition and view installation. It's all issued and we look just during installation. So when installation is complete, we check for view of home and content page. So as a general look, image and text alignment, we look for layout, so fit well the form factor. I hope you guys remember what form factor is. And I have some picture for you, but we need to come through the list first. So we talk about resolution of application, which is important, screen size, alignment, truncation. Again, we're looking for invalid garbage symbols, orientation, portrait versus landscape, and we look for button. And button is not just functionality, because every time I say, hey guys, what you can do with button? So let's check what you can do with button, how you will test any button. So if you have time, you have resources, they give you some, whatever, just completely empty screen, and so this, in the middle you have a button. So what is assumption? How many test cases you can create around this button? Give me some hands. Hello? Can you guys hear well? Okay. Two. So how many? Just two? At least one? Much more than that. Three. Okay. So at first place, you guys must be very clear with perfect Jewish answers. Perfect Jewish answer is always how many you need. So, but I already specify, you know, this. So we have resources, we have time. We must write as many test cases as possible. So at this point, you know, we can look on the button from functionality part. We can look so button to put under UI testing or interruption or some load testing. If it's gaming related or entertainment related, then it will be SOC testing, like push button, so constantly for 8-10 hours and see how the application responds. So we can do a lot of things with a button, and you don't need to, you need to understand and get creative. So how many things you can do with buttons. So let's start. All right, functionality is on and off, yeah, but think about place on the screen, color and size adjustment. So when you push on a button. So when we perform some gesture control actions, so like pinning or scrolling up and down or zooming in, zooming out. So what happened to your button? Think about this. So this is not just size, color, but so place on the screen, but it could be also sound change. So we're also talking about customized styles of the button. Sometimes you remember they show some special indication of active or non-active mode of the button. We talk about alignment with the naming. So many buttons have name in button, but some of them have around or on the side. What happened if you move this button or move a screen, and what happened to the naming of the button? So it depends on the type of functionality the button to intend for. Yeah, you're right, Isa. So this, but again, you need to check what happened to the button if you tap on a button and it's supposed to give you sound, and then in the same moment you have some ringtone notification or some SMS coming or something, interruptions or incoming call coming. So, and you actually perform some action with the button. So how the button react? It's do not have any reaction to that, or it should be somehow saved, pause mode, or whatever. So it's it's what you can do with one button. It could be specified in many different ways. All right, so yeah, the last was the links, but links is as simple as so there could be active, non-active mode. How you know then it's link? All right, if it's underlined, it's a completely 100% link. If you have some icon or avicon right by some words, so then more likely it will be also this active and it will be link. So if you have some indication of arrow or it's signs of greater than, so then more likely it's a link. Just to remind you about different kind of mobile form factor. It's actually still active. So, all right, most common is today is a touch screen, but how many taco, this console we have? And now this, as a retro things, a lot of slider is coming out, and we still have slider for BBs and for LG devices. So we still have some special, swivel things. So in new version of it. And I actually also saw this, some candy bar. You remember this bar, so candy bar things. So this it may come again. So because I signed, and again, if we talk about near future, so the next year we expect a lot of flexible devices coming on the market, biggable phones. So then it will be create new form factor for that. Another thing then I want to remind you, and I want you to know, so because people somehow forgot. You remember we talked about last time, so this, what is more complex to test is, so mobile application or web application. And we was definite so that it will be mobile application. And one of the factors then why it's a complex and compared to web application, omit, I do not talk about this, but I just want you to explore by yourself. So then we also have a different mobile UI. You remember this, it's all based on a special layout engine. So if we talk about browsers, how many browsers we have in mobile? Over 100. How is it possible? Because we have some generic layout engine, such as like WebKit is the most popular around the world. So 25% of layout engine is WebKit. So, and based on this template, developer customize and create some different browser and layout and function buttons and things. So around this, the same things is not this browser, but this UI as well. And most popular I know for Android is a TouchWiz, because all Galaxy S devices use TouchWiz. And for iPhone, for a long time, it was OmniGraffle. I don't know what they use right now, because with iPhone 7, So with iOS 7, I need to check now what exactly UIs I use. So, but it's nice to know, and I know this during interview, a couple people brought this up and saw pleasantly surprised so the faces from interviewer. So just to repeat and prepare for our practical exercise, I think we'll talk about this just to boost up your knowledge. So then actually we talk about, so then we have different category of testing. It could be over 100 different categories and area of testing. But when we're talking about iteration and type of testing we use constantly, more and longer I work with mobile application and I talk to more and more people. So the thing is like very stable, almost the same. So this list represents 75% of industry. So we do have some test coverage, so like functionality generic, so core functional, doesn't matter how they call. So this we have some generic test cases. It will be extended test cases over whatever, couple thousand, 3,000-4,000. So in generic category we use during this test coverage, it will be fun. You remember what fun is stand for: functionality, UI, and network connectivity. So plus as a category of testing, so then we will discuss in a couple of minutes later. So after that, we extract from core functionality and create some integration test cases. It's iteration during one phase, which could be like 3-4 months period. So we will do at least a couple times integration testing. Smoke testing, it's extraction from integration plus, so you remember what smoke stand for. So then it's covered generic or core function of any product of application from A to Z. So and during one phase iteration, so then we can have smoke tests up to 10 times. So it depends how good and how bad the things go. The next extraction of extraction will be sanity. Sometimes people call this regression testing. So, and you do not mess up with automation regression, because automation regression is different. So we talk about to very limited test cases, maybe up to 25, I think it's the most. So normally it's between 15 to 25 the test cases that you perform after each build deploy, and all the sanity test is concentrated on the latest feature or option that was implemented in specific phase. Sometimes if it's related straight to the sprint, like in gaming, all right, so then you will check and concentrate only on backlog feature that was implemented during the sprint. And we do have exploratory. I really just try to avoid word ad hoc, and I'm always feel a pity for people who put this ad hoc testing in their resume, because ad hoc indicated then you like completely entry level, do not know what to do, so person, but it's not true. So exploratory slash my clever notes, it's initial testing then we create when we first see the app at the day number 1, and after we have this chance, sometimes we don't, but most of the time we do have this very short timing test, maybe a couple hours maximum. So at the end of right before production release, when it's freeze code for developer already start, and we have a chance to searching through application or product without test cases to find some critical issue or launch critical issue. So at this point, it's what I call exploratory, and it's based on your clever notes. Then you collect and have some special comments when you execute test cases, because when we execute all this test coverage, integration, smoke, sanity, it's always based on test cases. We actually limited, to explore more, go left and right, because the main purpose, then we need to cover what is we frame in test cases. So we need to go through the full coverage of test cases. Then we executed all test cases, so perform all test cases to find true. Then we meet some quality standard assigned for this application or for product. So, but we always can see something problematic area or find some bug if we just step out of these test cases 1 or 2 steps, if we not just limit ourselves to open page and look at, but push something else. But again, during regular execution, we do not have time. We're not supposed to. We're limited as an organization, as a team, as our professional, so to stay strictly within test cases. It's why this, I think, exploratory in my clever notes testing is very important. So it's your chance to think out of box and find some special issue. So this one of the very common question during interview, no time for testing, what you will do. So I give you 2 times, no resources, no documentation, no team, blah, blah, blah. So what you will do? And answer actually very simple if you know this iteration process. So then also if test case is not created, but your assumption is then you have some exploration of application somehow before that. So, and you really limited in time, but you still can create some very shortcut of smoke test cases. So around maybe 20, 30 that will be go through main core function of application, what application should do from A to Z, plus sanity test cases, maybe like 10 or 15 of them, so to check the latest implementation, the latest feature and option that was, this implemented, so in application. And altogether, it will be around maybe like 50 to 70 test cases, maybe like less. So, but it's exactly good work task for 2 hours. Again, this many times it's come also question, can you estimate yourself? So how many test cases you can actually do per day? So in mobile world, believe it or not, it's a normal so to have about 100 test cases a day, sometime more. Depends on test cases, because a lot of test cases is just one lane. It's not really like 2 pages of whatever, 20, 30 steps. So it's very shortcut, very straightforward. Okay, so now when we come back again to general category of testing. You remember this? I mentioned fun, and I hope by this time you already know what fun is mean. So, but beside that, we also can create implement and core functionality if it needed, if it's applicable. Sometimes it's needed, it's applicable, but it's not on a customer request, or team do not think this way. All right, so it's your moment of truth when you can, in gentle, polite way, bring this idea. So this, why should we not try? Or so you think it will be a good idea to bring incoming phone calls or messages or SMS, Skype, FaceTime, whatever. Something interruption during your major function of your application will run. So error handling testing. I put this as /negative testing because, people do not think this way. So we talk about this positive, negative testing. It's a classical forms. In real life, I barely hear this definition at all, really. So this, and we do not have time for negative testing, also if it should be at some point. But, for example, if we have any editable fields, so we have some fields, pull down list of something fields, then we need to fill out. For login, for application, for forms, I don't know, there's many different reasons. Search box, whatever. So then we always can create some negativity around this testing by, for example, leave these fields empty or entering some invalid information. So this will be considered your negative testing. But what is your expected result when you do testing like this? It's very simple. So you're expecting some notification, some error handling messages that will be guide user out of this uncomfortable situation of red fields and whatever indication that something is not working. So it's why this, in many cases, people forgot these test cases, but it's very important. And I know this, it will be always appreciated if you bring it up. Do never forget, so bring some error handling test cases in your testing. Compatibility testing could be very varied and really flexible these days because, yes, we do have browser compatibility for mobile web application, but be honest with you, I work with web mobile application right now, and it was customer request. It's nothing that we not want to do. So, but as a customer, we do not perform any other. So this we do not take any other browser under consideration. We use default browser all the time. So one time it was spaced, and they allowed us to use some variety of browser. Oops, it was too much to handle for them, so they don't want to see it. So take it as in other adjustable points. So it's not a priori that you must have browser compatibility for mobile web application. So the same things with compatibility with hardware or operation system or pre-install native application for maybe a mobile native application. Yes, many times we do this. We create test cases that involve some of these components of hard or software, so like manual performance, where we will consider battery usage or CPU memory usage to find bottleneck or things like that. Yes, at this point, we will create test cases around, but if it's not requested, we mainly concentrate on, again, functionality, UI. These days, usability come on a question again. So connectivity and error handling. It will be mine. So this, from my opinions, 5 main components. So if you have space and time and know what you're doing, bring interruption, bring compatibility. So with some helping apps, you can also perform manual performance testing. But it's it. So out of 100 categories that we can create and actually on the market, so the variety is still very limited. So let's move on. Are you guys okay? Is everything is clear? Let me check with you. So if we clear this area, then we move to layers of testing environment. So people messed up many times work environment and testing environment. It's 2 different things. So work environments, if somebody asks you about work environments, so you will bragging about what kind of team you have, so how many developers, how many QA, so who worked where, so this you have some offshore team, and all the special parameters so related to work environments. You have agile, what kind of agile out of 7 or 10 different models that exist right now on the market, and things like that. So when we talk about testing environments, so it's exactly, I naturally got you some extended list of testing environments. So if we're talking about startup, a very small company, I don't know, this very simple test management, so we still will have at least 3 layers. It will be developer, QA, and production environments. So why we, think about like the layers of the pie, whatever, so of the cake. So why we do this? Because if some build, some addition, modification of the code go wrong, then it's easy when it's a slice on different levels, so to fix it and replace it or come back to the good one version. It's why for different reasons, so they create multi-layers. So as example, this what can exist. All right, we have developer environment, and this everything is flexible, movable, non-stable. So data could be whatever, just blah, 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 blah. literally. So because nobody care really about data itself, they just care about some string size. Okay, it's supposed to be 200 characters. That's it. So when we talk about QA environments, we talk about it could be multiply layers. So it could be just QA or differentiation of QA1, QA2, QA3, Web3, whatever. So because with why we divide in so many languages, so many layers, because some languages could be involved. So we have some extended dynamic data involved, or if it could be very extended mobile applications. Think about Wikipedia, but mobile, so this version of it. How many pages you have. So to differentiate is where does you have implemented what new feature. So if something go wrong, so then for troubleshooting area, you have multi-division that you really can extract some half of this immediately because they're not involved. So and do not spend your time. All right, so then you really will have multi-QA environments. Staging, it's layers for generated for flexible data flow, dynamic data flow, or if it's a big database involved. Think, for example, okay, you need to order something, you know, this, you have eBay, so you have supply right now, in 5 minutes, boom, time is over, so it's not available anymore. You buy tickets, yes, you bought this today, so 2 minutes ago, but 3 minutes ago, you cannot buy the same seat, so sit right by you because somebody bought it. So all this data described as dynamic, so this data layer. Pre-production, not many companies use it, but it's a good practice to have it. So, you know, before you go to production, before you go to live, so to release production. So it's a good idea to put all this multi-data, so database from different servers, so from different, you know, sometimes when it's a big application or utility package, so it could be not just a software application, it could be also some system application related. So then multiple third-party testing and development and services organization could be involved. So to collect them all on one special layer before you go to production, it's a wise idea. So plus production layer, it's a release to go live or go to App Store or go to straight to web browser. Okay, so what time? You have some question? Oh, somebody wake from other group. Sometimes interviewer ask about framework. So this one is not question for today. Actually, this framework, it's a standalone. And actually, this people interviewer who ask about frameworks, they guide you from manual testing to API level. So, or just try to check this your conceptual understanding about frameworks. So I cannot spend time on this today. So I will contact you personally if you want to just know more about framework and understand frameworks. So, okay, but now we come back to the templates. I know you already got some templates, so and work with some templates to create test cases or, you know, just log bugs. So take this just as another template and you know, or I really encourage you to start thinking and create your own templates for this common sense. And actually, this is funny things. So also after you create your own templates, you may not use it. So because most of organization, when you come, they already have their own, so this created templates. Literally, you will need your creation only if you start working some startup and you will get responsibility to start everything from scratch. So, but as a common sense, for mobile, most important field is title. Everything is go with the title. So why? Because test cases itself, steps is not really extended and nobody really have a time to read all the steps. So they want to get the maximum from title for quick search, for a set of suites, for, you know, just by module for automation. So if we go to systematization of archive systematization, so we want to be able just by quick search, so or filtering things to like one this example by phase, by release, by sprints, by date, so to find out where we are, or we we also, if we look for test case reports or statistic, or when from test case some bug report derives, so then we look and we want to see in the test case title some requirements ID related to the test case, or test category, or languages that was involved, something. So, but I understand then, so that for you it's a very hard to jump between different templates. So, but when you come to the field, just keep this in mind and try to do it, and you will see how easy, so, and it's in smooth things will be fine, and how much time you will save. So if you consolidate all information in title. So this, I also just talk to many people, and for many still is confusing the status column. So I understand, and by now you're 100% sure should know pass and fail. But life is not black and white, so we still have multi-category that use every time. We have blocked, we have NA, we have no run and non-complete, and this information is based on HPQC Elm, so that I work every day. So it's very common. It's not a standard for industry, but it's very common description of what kind of test case status should or could be. And why? Because, all right, pass is very simple. Failed is kind of clear. So then, yeah, it's not expected behavior. But what happened if you start some test case and it will go from step 1 to 3, and it's exactly where you fell test case, and you start next test case, and maybe it's contain not steps 1 to 3, but step 1 to 4. So in step 1 to 3 completely replicate test case that you just fell, but test case step 4, it's actually proceed to something whatever in addition to previous steps. You cannot execute this test case because it's already blocked by previous test case that you fail, because it doesn't work from step 1 to 3. So, and actually sometimes the maximum I saw, believe it or not, I saw then one test case could block about over 100 test cases. So we have special status, it's called BB. You put this in the status, and this you track, you're supposed to track, you remember this, go through the bug life cycle things. So when some of those special bugs is resolved, you not just close, validate, or whatever, verify these bugs itself, but you need to have special notification in the field, so then this specific defect blocked another whatever numbers of blocked test cases. And after you unblock, so pass this specific failed test case, you need to come back to all these blocked test cases, and so this execute them. Sometimes it's really time consuming, but we do this all the time. I do not have any iteration that I do not have any one block test cases. I always have some block test cases that we need to come back and execute it. So the same things with NA. Most of not applicable things, it could be so this by time we come to execute some special module of this application, so then it's an altered test case, invalid, it's not anymore, the feature is changed. It's very common in mobile world. So this another option will be then, this they was planned, they put this on backlog, boom, so this because they do not go from, it's supposed to be they just take high priority from backlog so list and go from 1 to 10, but hey, if they think then it's easy to start with 5 and after jump to 7 and after come back to 1, that's how they go things in real life, so not in perfect solution, but still. And we come to modules, then out of 40 test cases, I can actually execute only 20, and other 20, it's not blocked, but it's not implemented yet. They not developed this feature yet. So then I put this kind of on hold. So then I, for this status, I will put NA. Why I should put something? I can leave no run. No run, it's mean then I'm not executed, but it's a bad impression on you. It's mean then you just, take test cases which is easy for you and leave other behind? No, you still spend time to find out that this feature is not implemented. You still was check these test cases. So then you was going through, it's your work time. It's you need to show this what you do all day. So it's why you put on this test cases NA, and for you it will be indication that you was go through these test cases, but somehow it was not applicable. So you need to come back. The same things, it could be a situation with not completed. Think about some test cases that should be performed on multi-browsers, or if we come back to like web application things, then should be performed using different operation system. So like iPhone and Android. Boom, so at this point you have iPhones, but Android is not available, or other way around, doesn't matter. So you kind of perform half of the test. Another half of the test you cannot perform because some device or some technical obstacle on the way, then so test cannot be completed. All right, then put the status not completed. So I hope it's making some sense for you. And regarding this last things, it's funny about actual result, because a lot of people somehow this do not understand purpose of it. So I take this as a additional comments. Okay, if you have expected result and your status is passed, so actual result will be just empty field. But if your expected result in status is differ from each other, then so what actually happened? What is actual result? So you need to leave a comment. You leave this by time you create test cases, Goddessville. But I know it's funny, but it's happened all the time. People write expected result and immediately write actual result. You cannot predict the actual result until you execute test cases. Leave this column empty, because when you create test cases template, you do not do this just for test cases itself, because we use this all this table to execute test cases, to leave a status, to leave a comments for environment and variable data, to leave special comments for actual results. So when we create test cases, yes, we will have some test case number, we will have test case title, test case description, and expected result. All other 3 fields we will fill out during execution, but we will not escape it, all right? Whew. So now, we're done with this kind of introduction. It always takes so much time, so I'm really disappointed of myself. So, but I try to speak slowly because I know people have hard time sometimes to understand when I speak fast. All right, so here's example. It's from real field. I got this question during interview 1.5 years ago, and it's funny things. 1.5 years ago, the same company still asks the same question again and again, all candidates. Because after the I have this question, 5 more people report the same question again and again. So, write as many test cases as you can by the following. Mobile device, simple app with 3-button ABC that make the sounds. And the thing is, it's nothing else. You know, this we already discussed how many test cases should be run. So this then you always say how many test cases you need. So you specify, you show your conceptual team lead, whatever, so the skills. So then depends how many people, how much time, how much budget I have. So this, this I will just write different test cases, different number of test cases. So, and but let's pretend then you have enough time and you need to write test cases. So when you see simple things like this, where you start, what will be your first move, how you start to do these things? So, alright, it's a very plain. So you can make some exploratory or ad hoc tra-la-la testing. So for 5 minutes, because it's not too much, just one page. So 3 stupid buttons, and each button make a sound. So now what? You push on all these buttons. So you got it. What will be your next step? Come on, give me some hands. All right, somebody already read. Don't know what? Do we have any lecture on HPQCL? I do have a lot of special presentation, but it was not covered in mobile class. I can, if you guys interested, so this I can make some collection of you and put on our collective email, so to if3 partner. So, but I do not have time specifically to go to introduction for HPQC. Combination of buttons, sound volume, sound equality. You all guys good and bad. So no one passed the test, so then I would like to take you to my team. So, because what you're doing, all what you're doing right now, you just go to details. And it's what 99% of the tests are doing, but it's not what I'm looking in my team, because I have already a couple monkey working for me like that. So I need something that's, you know, who think little bit out of box, who see the old pictures. So I just mentioned to you, so this where's the best way to start when you have something unknown and you need to make full test coverage of it. So you will, if you just jump into idea immediately, you will run of this idea very quickly, and more likely, believe me, all your idea will be go in the same direction. You will not create full test coverage. The right way to do, you should start with checklist. You need to create list of what kind of possible category of testing you will use. And we just talk about this category of testing. We talk about functionality. We talk about functionality testing. We talk about UI, so interruption, network compatibility or connectivity. We talk error handling. So you need to create GUI, how you say. So nobody says this anymore, but you can keep it. So you should create some list first. So, and it will stay with your test plan to cover different area and category of testing. And believe me, also with these 3 buttons, you can create a lot of test cases. So I create for you some of them, so you have at least some hands-on, I mean, some taste of what kind of test cases could be created around simple buttons. So you remember we start with case title. So I just create a name of this application, because it's very good idea to start with some module with the name out, because you can have multiple variation of the same application, or you can have different phases, releases with the same application. So, and it's easy to search if you go this way. So you organize, systemize this way. So you also specify, okay, today it's only home page and nothing else, but who knows, maybe this application will be successful tomorrow and you will add more and more pages to it. So then you need to find where you start. So, or you want to, like half year later, modified home page feature, and you need to retrieve all test cases, so then you can save your time and money and resources, and just to modify and edit old test cases, not create new one. So it's why this we talk about very importance of case title. All right. So and what I do this, I put some action in some sense in my case title. So what I'm doing with these things. And my first test case will be just verification sound functionality of button A. So I can do the same things with B, with C, or I can do this with combination of buttons A, B, or A, B, C, whatever, in this different order. So the description is, you see, it's very simple. It's like only 3 simple steps. A result, it's what exactly my expected result should be. So if we go to the next category of testing, like UI, so I will involve all different gestures, or I will talk about, you remember I mentioned accelerometer, or we talk about zooming compatibility. So do not frustrate, then I use word compatibility. All right, yes, it's related to UI testing because we're using UI options like zooming, accelerometer. It's also UI options. So this with swiping, panning, or scrolling, but the meaning is the same. So it's still related to UI. So I hope this you will take a time and check against test case title and description, so when you will have a time. To interruption, again, very simple test cases for verification of ABC buttons functionality during phone call interruption, or ABC buttons functionality during SMS text interruption. So it's not really anything scientific, but when you get a taste of it, when you will understand how to do it, you will get a fun finally this, and you will understand. So this the job is actually very easy, and you must be very creative to create these test cases, and it's not repeatable because every time it's something new, you will wait for new feature because you will enjoy to create something new around it. So the same things with network connectivity testing. The first things then pop up in everybody's mind. It will be test your application offline. So this ABC button functionality for offline to confirm if it's a native application, then it should work in our test case. So because of expected result, you can see then it will be native application. So because native application should work offline as well. So how you create offline mode, we discussed this earlier because it's very common consideration, flight mode or airplane mode. So you can activate this in any time through the different shortcuts on your device to see how your application will respond to it. We have a lot of different test cases around Bluetooth mode, and I put this at the end of presentations as extra materials for you. And we also can just turn Wi-Fi, disconnect Wi-Fi, and to see how this application will respond, how the buttons will respond to the situation. And we can go on and on. So this, I just want to, I think it's very important, to bring it to you guys. So then, I don't know, I have a hard time to, be creative with test cases for my first 6 months. It was completely unclear because I was always jumping immediately to verify something. And after I have hard time to find what I just verified because everything was verified. So it's why I want to bring to your common sense and taste. So organize test cases in some special paths. So if you have some page, so web mobile application, doesn't matter, some mobile application, you define and make some division of the page. So like top, so everything from the top, then, if you have some special button, okay, click on, tap on each button, and maybe it will be extendable some menu or pull down list. All right, everything that you can test inside this one unit of this special button or link. All right, create test cases there. So before you go to the next element, and go consistently. It's a very normal pattern. So this to go from the top and after jump to the bottom because it's a common element for each page. And after come back to body content and concentrate what is there. So how would you troubleshoot network on iPhone? It's another thing. Yeah, how would you? Okay, also if you never really have iPhone in your hands. So you still may have idea, and don't tell me you will push buttons or whatever. Do not start with details. We already discussed this, then it's a failure answer. It's a not answer, then interviewer wait for you. Okay, so you have some problem with phone. Find out. So this is how you will start troubleshoot. Give me some idea. Restart. It's already detail. I don't want detail. Before you touch it, your first action will be thinking. What you will thinking? Check network connection. It's a detail. I don't care about detail right now. So this, I need some more conceptual. What you will do before you start to do anything. Hey, other group, are you guys sleeping beauty today? Nobody want to do in relax mode? Okay, it's a detail. SIM card is a detail. Guys, so the problem is then you always, so try your best, but in details. But, alright, if I have problem with something, it doesn't matter this category of testing of my life or whatever. So if you have problem with your friend, what will be your first thinking? You cannot push him, you cannot close the door. I mean, you can, but it will be not your first action. So if you have problem with friend, what will be your first thinking? Depends on the problem is good. Yeah, test cases. What happened before? What caused it? Good. So you start to think so differently. Yeah, the same things with test cases, the same things with mobile application. So if you, or whatever with mobile device, if you have problem, so this with your friends, your first thinking will be, is a problem with my friend or it's a problem with me? So somebody really do something wrong, but who is it, me or my friends? The same things when you have problem with network or if you have problem with device. So think, it's very simple. It's right in your question. Troubleshoot network on iPhone. Okay, is a problem in network or it's a problem of my device, of iPhone? It's so simple. It's what they want to hear from you. You understand? Because after you specify areas of troubleshooting, so from different point of view, ta-da! So it's where you start and create different troubleshooting idea, how you can check or prove or solve situation. Is it clear? Is it, when you will understand this, your life as QA will be much, much easier. It's very important to understand. And anytime you get something for testing, you must imagine, you must think from different point of view. Thank you. Now it's clear. So now it's very clear. Troubleshooting concept. Define area that make hazard problem, device or carrier. So make a list of troubleshooting methods, blah, blah, blah. So this, and after that, start always with minimum variables and condition. You remember the test case, it's a set of variable and condition. So in your case, it will be like some details and you take some whatever, like you say connection or you say device, restart device or SIM card. So you put the SIM card under different condition. So device with SIM card, device no SIM card, or device with SIM card but maybe not fully inside. Boom. So this place of SIM card considered so to place of your device, it will be different condition of one variable. So, but come back to point number 3. Start with minimum of variables and condition. Why? Because I like this, this example with if you know then tree, some, I don't know, pine tree, have some problem. You will not cut tree first. No, you will check for leaves, for branches, so maybe for trunk before you really, so make assessments like, oops, so all right, this tree is done, it's completely dead, so I need to cut it off. The same things with troubleshooting. You not cut it off at the beginning. So you do an observation, so with some minimum of variable condition and more and more and more. And in the beginning, so why it's important to define area of troubleshooting? Because you can check device, for example, very easily. Haha, it's work. So fine. Then I know for sure then my network connectivity problem is not related to device. Or you can just do other way around. You just check another device and it's work. Aha. So then something, it's not network related because in the same area other devices work with network fine. Then so the reason of something problem is in my device. So you minimize your time and effectiveness is already jump up, because then 50% of time you will spend to find out and jump in between different solution. So it's already gone. So it's how it's work. Man, we're out of time, but I'm like need another 15-20 minutes. Are you okay with 15-20 minutes? Give me yes or no. Yeah. So quality versus quantity. Yeah, kind of like this. So, and because, guys, you don't want to do quantity, so you're not monkey tester again. So if you want monkey tester job, yeah, it will cost you some, whatever, entry level, 15 bucks an hour. So it is still around, but you're not high school kids. So you take this seriously and you want something more of it. So, okay, here's some idea. Really come back to the question how to troubleshoot network on iPhone for people who don't know iPhone and you still need to specify details. So then here's my explanation of details, and when you get presentation you can go through that to read it more. And actually Google is not the last one, okay? You always can Google for more and more solutions, so to find out different forums how people troubleshoot things. So you remember I sent it you link this morning, so then you should check this video of FaceTime. So before we have a lecture today, I hope some of you, at least some of you did. Or maybe some of you just familiar with FaceTime. So now, what is your stress test approach when testing FaceTime on iPhone? It's a question of interview from real field. Now, this check for keyword in this question and how you will start, what you will do first. Connection, sound, video. Keyword is a stress. So thank you, Anna. At least somebody start right away. So Lara, you jump again to details. So get away from details. I know this we can check connection, sound, and video, but you will run out of idea. You not organize your idea. You do not show me as an interview for interviewer. You do not show me your problem solving, your analytical, and your conceptual thinking. It's indicated for me then you have no experience and you're not really knowledgeable, and maybe you're not right candidate for my team. Do you really want to look like this? No. It's why do not jump to detail in the beginning. Drop it in the water. Andrew, I can drop you in the water, dude. All right, we just talk about this, guys. What you will do from conceptual point of view when you have question like this. Stress test approach when testing FaceTime on iPhone. Evaluate. It's a general word. I can say this blah, blah, blah anytime. So, but what is a real action you should take to start do this professional way? How many people can participate at the same time? It's again, it's a detail. So we can be creative and that endless, but it's not organized. So let's see what other groups say. Hey, where's my other group? Interruption, create list to test. Yay! So somebody learn from me. So it's very simple, guys. Why I'm asking you to check and know what is a FaceTime is and how it's work. Because if you know how it's work, and so the principle, you will give me a list of the feature and option that you use in FaceTime. And when you have this list of FaceTime option and feature, so then it's very easy to think how you can put each of them or combination of them or all of them under stress condition. It will be your approach. So not just jumping again between something, then I put it there and put it here and maybe there. So, and you give me 3-4 ideas, and after you start thinking. But if you start to create some list in the beginning, it's like, oh, this person know what they're doing, and this person already did this in the past. It's what I exactly need, experienced person in my team, because I'm tired of monkey testers. So, Sorry, I don't try to depress you, don't put you down. So it's why with this right now in learning mode. I want to tell you and give you the true reality, spank. So then when you come to the interview, you will feel comfortable and you will behave differently than any other candidate. And it's why you will be chosen one. So it's my goal. Okay. So what is a FaceTime general feature? What we need to put under stress and how we can put it under stress? Ta-da! So we have activation of FaceTime option, we have new call beginning, video call, voice call, we have switch between front and back camera, we can put our own picture and video and chat screen. So all these things then we can put under stress. And how it's a detail, believe me, when you answer this question and start with checklist, then I will create this list of the feature that will be utilized in FaceTime, and each of this or combination of this feature put under stress test or condition. They will not ask you for details because you give them perfect answer, then they wait for a long time. So they may ask you, give me a couple examples, because as they understand, then if you have a list, you will already organize and create test cases how many is needed. You understand this? I hope you understand this. All right. Yeah, here's some whatever imagination, so what you can do with that, so if you're out of idea. But again, my keyword is you need to get prepared. Sorry. Oops. I already get too much. Where I am. We're almost done. So I just want you just just to get rid of this little skin of whatever high school kid. So and every time you have problem, before you jump in to push something or so create some immediate solution, nobody expect and want from you immediate solution. Also in fast-pacing environment, they appreciate if you have 15 minutes to think, to search, or make some list, whatever, sketch, table, whatever it's work for you. It must be not really high scientific, but so that you show them analytic and conceptual thinking. It's it. It's a keyword from today what I really need to break through, and you need to start learn and think about this, okay? So this the same things this when we talk about troubleshoot of email. It's a very common question. They talk about Facebook or they talk about Yahoo. But it's very common. So something related to email or to some of the social networking things. All right. You never took this to details. You think always if it's something with my device or recipient device, or it's something with connectivity of whatever, our office, or it's maybe some providers of something wrong with whatever blockage things with Yahoo. Happened once in Blue Moon as well. So this, if it's not Yahoo, because you can check it, so all right, then 25% of your troubleshooting is already done in 1 minute. So use this template. Try to create exercises for yourself. So and if you have a question, again, create exercise. So give yourself credit and submit this to our Eve3 portal of email. So I can check this. So notify me on Skype, then you submit this and I will check and we can correct and maybe create some more troubleshooting area and ideas. But if you don't push yourself, you will be always on the entry level. So as a whatever. And believe me, these young dudes will push you. So you don't want them, they push you. Every year it's more and more young dudes who want to get this first job for $25 an hour. So you don't want to be one of them, you want to be bigger. So when we talk about mobile and all these applications, this is very good things to review and think about OpenID. It's another very common questions. This, what you think about OpenID, how it's work, how you understand OpenID. So please take your time and hear this OpenID explained, excellent link. So just go there if this one explanation is not enough for you. So what we do today, I create another table and ideas because people was asking me from last class, so what kind of Bluetooth test cases could be created. So here's some more idea for Bluetooth, because people have hard time to understand Bluetooth. So nature. And now we go to homework. Let's practice. I create some from the field, whatever, different languages, and I did this for purpose because many times you may have something with in different language, and you must be able to check some whatever things. Then also you don't understand language. Some things should be obvious also if you don't understand language. So I know this everybody from this bug report get creative, but excited. But so the thing is, then in each bug report we're talking and looking for one issue. Like here, for example, I'm not concentrate on anything else. I'm looking for this one. So this, if we're looking for this page, so I understand you can find 3-4 different things, but I'm looking for this specific one. So what is I'm looking for? I don't need full template. I want you to write titles of your bug reports. So after we talk about this, so what should be included in the titles? Most of the titles just copy and paste from test cases. It's your hints to you. So I want you to see how you describe things in a shortcut, because in the title you cannot really put 3-4 sentences. It must be very, very concise things. How you describe problem, then people will understand what's going wrong. So it don't need to open all description and whatever, go to requirements and things like that. So it's what is the purpose of exercise. And another things, for example, like here or here, if you do not see, it's not a bug. So this is not an issue. So I was forced, and it's a rules. So I wiped this for confidentiality things. I cannot really display this company links or whatever, some company logo, whatever. So, but here is some problem, and you need to tell me what is the problem there. Okay, so we'll see how you like it, not like it, so, and how creative you will be. How you submit your homework, it will be extra filed in EF3 Portnoy, and I will place these files tonight. And so this you can just download this file and give me the list, because you know, like, you can say slide 31, so, and give me the title of slide 31. So because we all have this and we know this, it could be very simple, so email back. Okay, this, let's minimize our paperwork or whatever, something involved in. All right, I appreciate your little bit overtime. So it's pretty much it for today. And I will hear from you in the next year. Ta-da!